YouTube, it's Taylor. Welcome to episode number 3 of the Bachelorette Breakdown. If you guys have not seen the first 2 episodes of the Bachelorette Breakdown, I will make sure to link those down below. Make sure to go watch those before you continue watching this episode. But anyway guys, let's jump into the video. So guys, obviously it was episode number 2 of The Bachelorette this week, which means the dates have officially started. Now in this week's episode there were 2 group dates and 1 one-on-one date. Now if you don't know what the group and one-on-one dates are, the group dates basically can consist of about like 8 guys going on a date with JoJo, and then usually there's like some type of a challenge, which then there's a winner from that challenge, and usually that winner gets a little bit of extra time with JoJo rather than just being like one big group. They get like a little advantage at it. And obviously the one-on-one dates are pretty self-explanatory. It's just JoJo and one other guy, and they go on a date where it's just they have their own one-on-one time, so get it, like the one-on-one date, if that makes any sense. So then obviously the episode starts off with all the guys sitting on the couch waiting for the first date card to come in. So Chris Harrison first walks in with the date card and basically puts it down and says there will be 2 group dates this week as well as 1 one-on-one. And there was a little twist with the one-on-one date, and that was if you did not get a rose at the end of your one-on-one date, you automatically get sent home. Now that just puts like a lot of pressure. I would be like freaking out if that was me. I'd be like, wow, barely even know this chick, gotta make a good first impression, and if I don't, I'm getting sent home. So the card that Chris Harrison brought in was the first group date card, which consisted about, I think 10 guys went on this first date. The 10 guys found out they were going on this date, and then they walked out, and there was a limo on fire. Now, like, the first thing you think the guys would do would be like, oh my god, what if JoJo's in there? Should we go rescue her? No, they're all just literally standing out there. They're like, whoa, there's a limo on fire. Like, does it ever even cross your mind that like, oh, maybe your future wife is in that limo, burning to death? But you're just standing there like, wow, that's a pretty limo. Maybe we should go roast marshmallows on it. But then, you know, a fire truck rolls in and JoJo comes out of the fire truck in her little like firefighter suit. And let me tell you, she was working that firefighter suit, girl. Like, ooh, kill it. So then the 10 guys go off to start their first group date. And back at home, all the guys are just kind of chilling. And then the camera pans over to Chad, putting a bunch of stuff in his suitcase, tying it around his waist and doing pull-ups with his suitcase full of stuff hanging from his body. Could you be more of a dick? Like, the whole entire episode, Chad was just being a complete dick. He thinks he's so much better than every guy in the house, and he's not vague about it. He's totally straight up with it. He's like, just I'm way better than these guys. Like, he thinks all of the guys are there for the wrong reasons, and it's just like, take a chill pill and focus on yourself. Just worry about yourself. You don't have to worry about the other guys. Just breathe. So after all the Chad drama, we go back to the first group date, and it is a firefighter academy, and basically what this group date is consisting of is what firefighters go through like training wise. And so they were doing all these activities. So, you know, all of this is starting, and I think it's so cute because like Wells is not like the strongest guy. Like, he's probably one of the smaller guys of the group, and so they're doing all their like little brief interviews, and Wells is just like, I really hope I'm gonna be good at this. I'm probably not, but I'll try my best. I'm like, you're so cute. I love you. I love Wells. I literally love Wells so much. I want him to win, but like, I doubt he's going to, but like, I really hope he wins. And then let me tell you, like, they're in the full firefighter suits, and they're doing all these like really, really tough training drills, and like Wells is over there, and he honestly looks like he's gonna he's gonna pass out any minute. And the instructor's like, okay, everyone, let's take a knee. Like, he doesn't want to like call Wells out on it, but like, he's like, okay, let's all take a break for a minute and breathe. And it's really funny because then they're like, okay, let's go have like the paramedics go and check him out. And so he's like laying there, and JoJo's like, I'm gonna go check and see how Wells is doing. He's like sitting there, and like all the guys were like, you know, we were really feeling bad at first for Wells because like he's a really small guy and these are some really tough things, but then he got all this extra time with JoJo, and I'm like, snaps Wells. And then Wells was joking. He was like, you know, I really am just doing this just to hang out with you, like as a joke, obviously, because the guy looked like he was pale as a ghost, so I was about to pass out any minute. But I was like, it was so cute. So obviously the group date's going on and all that kind of stuff, and then they go back to the house, and the guys are writing like a song for JoJo. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of cute at first. And then like throughout the whole entire episode, they just kept going back and they were writing more songs for JoJo. And it's just like, okay, we get it. Let's take a chill pill. And it was really funny too because all of these guys were together hanging out, having a good time, writing a funny song for JoJo. And Chad's over there like, these guys are so immature. I'd never write a love song for a girl. And it's just like, bro, just shut up. No one cares. Like, if you're not gonna, like, that's sweet that they're writing a song and stuff, and I know it's stupid, but it's just like, if you were to write a song for me and it was kind of cheesy, I'd love it. Like, bro, you stop being such a dick and thinking you're like the strong masculine dude, because you're just being a dick. So after all of the trials are going on, they announce like the final 3 that will be doing the final challenge in order to get a little bit of extra time with JoJo. And so basically it consisted of like doing all the activities that they were doing and then like climbing this entire building and saving JoJo at the top of the building. And so the final 3 were Grant, shocker, because you know he's a firefighter, Grant, Luke, and then the guy was like, because I was really, really excited and proud that the guy kept going and persevered. So Wells was the final guy, and literally as he's walking up, they're like, you ready? And he's like, I mean, not really, but sure. And so obviously the 3 were competing for extra time, and it was basically down to Luke and Grant. Wells obviously was like, nah, he's not gonna make it that much, but Luke and Grant kept fighting for it, and obviously, no shocker here, Grant won the challenge, and he got like a little bit of extra time to talk to JoJo at the end of the date. So after the challenge, obviously they go to like have a little like cocktail hour time where they're dressed up nice, and then they can have some talking time with JoJo. And so obviously because Grant won, he got some extra time to talk to JoJo, so they were talking. I don't know, I just kept getting this really, really uncomfortable, awkward vibe between the 2 of them, and they kissed, and I mean like it was a good kiss and all, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see him as being someone's, like he's a nice guy, but like I don't see it working out with JoJo. Just my personal opinion. So then while this group date is still going on, we go back to the house where the boys are staying at, and the next card comes. It is the one-on-one date card. And I'm honestly kind of shocked who got the first one-on-one date card. Before obviously the group date card came, I kind of was hoping and thinking that Luke was gonna get the one-on-one date, which I was shocked he was one of the first guys to be announced to be on the group date. But the first guy that got the one-on-one of the season was Derek, you know, pretty blue eyes Derek, which honestly I was kind of shocked. I didn't see him being one of those guys that she really connected with at first and would be getting a one-on-one date card, but good for Derek. So then we obviously go back to the group date, and JoJo's talking with everyone, and Wells is so funny. I want them to date. It would be perfect. Just my opinion. I love Wells, can you tell? Another thing we found out during this first group date is that Evan has kids. I'm so sorry for those kids, because your dad's really creepy looking. I'm sorry, it's just a thing. So then obviously Luke and JoJo are talking again, and they're kind of having one of those like intimate moments and all that kind of stuff, and they kiss. So after everyone has been talking with JoJo, she comes back and the rose is there. And so obviously, if you guys don't know, obviously for the one-on-one dates, there's a rose up for that one person, and usually that one person always gets the rose. It's very rare if they don't get the rose, but then on the group dates, they're obviously, I guess you could consider them impression roses, because obviously one of the guys gets a rose at the end of the group date who obviously made the best impression on her. And so I was super, super happy. I honestly thought Luke was gonna get the rose, but she gave the rose to Wells, and I'm like, yes! Wells got I was so happy. Like, I literally was screaming of excitement because Wells got a rose. So I was like, ah! Wells! So then obviously that was the end of the first group date, and the next day starts, which means it is Derek's one-on-one date. So basically JoJo and Derek get into JoJo's car, and let me tell you, she had like a really old-fashioned car, and I love the color of it. It was this really pretty teal blue, and I was like, girl, you know your cars, and that is a beautiful one that you have there. I was so jealous. It was such a cool car. I wanted it. I wanted it in my life. So once Derek and JoJo get in the car, basically explains that they're going to be making decisions throughout the date that basically decide where the date is going to take place. So they get into the first car, and I think it's basically the first choice is sea or sky, and they both choose sky. And then I think, or yeah, they picked north or south. They picked north, and then it was like either the Golden Gate Bridge or another place, and they obviously picked the Golden Gate Bridge. So their little one-on-one date ended up being a little picnic right by the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was super cute, and Derek and JoJo were super cute, and it was just so cute. Can you tell it was just so cute. It was goals. And then of course they kissed, and that was cute too. So the date's going on, and then the camera crew goes back to the boys' house, and they're singing again, writing songs, and then Daniel and Chad start talking, and now I think they're besties. So the two people I hate the most this season are besties, which is just great. They could, you know what? Let's kick them off. They can have a bromance, because you know, Daniel's gay. They can live happily together and think they're the best people ever, even though they're not. So then later on, the second group date card comes in, and then I think there were only about 6 guys that were taken out on that group date. So then that left 3 guys that did not get to go on a date this week, and that was Chase, the hipster dude, and the super fan bachelor dude. So then after they announced who was going to be on the group date card, and the 3 guys that didn't get a group date card were obviously kind of like upset about it, and then Chad, being the dick that he is, decides, he's just like, well, why are you guys so upset? It's not like she's not gonna be here tomorrow, and blah 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 blah. And it's just like, well, they're upset because they don't have a chance to like have a good time with JoJo and to have more time to talk to JoJo, because if they don't have time to talk to JoJo, they can't get to know her and could be kicked off, which means, yes, Chad, she possibly could not be here tomorrow because they could be kicked off. So stop being a dick. So then we're back with Derek and JoJo, and after the little picnic, they go on like a nighttime date where it's kind of a more like romantic setting where they can kind of share some feelings, and Derek opens up about how his past girlfriend cheated on him, so like it's kind of hard and he wasn't very open, and so he opened up to her because JoJo opened up to him about how she felt about Ben and Lauren, and it was just cute and adorable, and props to you, Derek, for beginning to open up about yourself. A+. And then thankfully Derek got a rose, so he was safe for the week and he was not going home, because like I said with the one-on-one date, if you didn't get a rose this week on your one-on-one date, you were automatically getting shipped back to where you came from. So then that date ended, Derek got another kiss, and group date number 2 began. Group date number 2 was at the ESPN Center building, and it was taking place during, I think it's called Sports Nation. I think that was what the like show was called, with 2 of the guys that obviously host the show. So basically what their challenge was is they had kind of 3 different stages, which they then changed the show that was originally called Sports Nation to Bachelor Nation, and they all had to do like little cute like sports related things, but more towards like the Bachelorette aspect. Like I think they had a rose that they had to do like a dance around, like, because you know when you spike the football they usually do like a dance, but if you spike the rose then they had to do a dance. And let me tell you, their dances weren't very good. They were kind of weird, and I was like, ooh, you guys look strange. Another one was they had a giant ring and they had to do like little proposals. And then so during this time, all the guys were like, oh, you're so beautiful, I love you, and all the reasons why I love you. And then Chad, the last one up, and he literally just goes up, he's like, marry me. And it was just like, that's it, like nothing heartfelt or anything. And she's like, well, aren't you gonna tell me why I love you, and blah blah blah. And he's like, well, I haven't even like really met you, I don't even know you that well, blah 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 blah. And then he called her Naggy. You do not call your future wife that you are fighting for Naggy during a proposal too. What is going on in your head? And then like while all of these guys were doing their proposals too, and he's like, oh, they're so fake, they don't even know her that well, like, you're really gonna feel this way about a girl you've only known for a week? And it's just like, you can say a girl is beautiful. Like, I get it, like I understand, like, yes, you're saying these things with only barely like knowing this girl for a week. Like, I understand that part, and I feel like that is a good like statement to say, Chad. But you're doing it in such an arrogant, dicky way, and you're throwing all these guys under the bus, and it's just like, you could do this in a way better way, but you're making yourself look like a loser with the way that you're doing it. So then I guess on this Sports Nation show, they do like power rankings and stuff. And so with this group date, there wasn't any like winner, meaning like you got extra time with JoJo, because there were only like about 6 guys that went on the date. So they did the top 3 guys that won like the thing. And so Alex, the really short guy, got third. Chad got second because they were like, good for Chad for being honest and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no. And then James Taylor got first, which I was like, yeah, James. All my like faves are like killing it. I'm like, slay, slay, all of you. After the Bachelor Nation challenge was finished, they went on to their little cocktail talkie hour kind of a thing. JoJo went to talk to James first, and he wrote like this poem little song thing, and it was so cute, and JoJo started crying, and I was on the verge of tears because it was so freaking cute and heartfelt, and I'm like, how are you not married? How do you not have kids? Like, I would date you in a heartbeat. So then Chad and JoJo start talking, and then he pulls the "my mom died 6 months" card. Like, I understand, I'm sorry that your mom died, but like, you just pulled the whole, you called her naggy like 5 hours ago, and then you're gonna pull the sympathy card on her, and it's just like, she's gonna fall for it. And I was like, JoJo, please do not fall for the sympathy card. Don't fall for the sympathy card. Like, just don't. Like, look at him. He's creepy and a bad guy. Do not fall for it. And then to make it 500 times worse, she kissed him. JoJo, you don't kiss him. Do you see him? He's so creepy and bad and a dick. Don't kiss him. Why are you kissing him? Like, bleh. So then JoJo finished talking to all those guys on the group date, and James Taylor got the rose, and I was like, my faves all got roses this week, so that means they're all safe, and it was just so happy, and I was like, ah! Because I almost thought she was gonna give it to Chad, and I was like, if you give that rose to Chad, girl, you got something wrong with you. So the second group date ended, which means then it was time for the rose ceremony, pre-talk time, cocktail hour thingamajigger. I don't know what it's called. We're just gonna call it that. All the guys are sitting on the couch and they're like, where's Chad? Why isn't Chad here? Well, JoJo pulls up in the limo and he's waiting outside, and I'm just like, you have just reached the creepy level, and it's just like, you need to stop. So then JoJo walks in and they're like, she's doing her like little brief talking, and then Chase grabs her right away, which I'm like, good for you, Chase, because you didn't get a group date and you deserve it. So way to go and go win her. Go win her, Chase. And Chase made it snow because he must be somewhere, like, I'm guessing maybe Colorado or Utah, I don't know, somewhere where it snows. And he was talking about how he loves to snowboard, and JoJo was like, oh, I want to learn how to snowboard. And he's like, I'll teach you. And I was like, get it, boy. You win that girl's heart. Get it. So then for the rest of the episode, Chad is constantly walking around with a big plate of different kinds of meat, like deli meats, wings, and he's just eating it like a legit barbarian. You're just asking to be kicked off, bro. So then Alex and JoJo were talking, and while they were talking, like, they had only been talking for a couple minutes. And Chad walks in, he's like, can I steal her for a second? And JoJo was like, give me a minute. I'm kind of like talking with him. And he literally like walks over to the side and is standing there staring at them. I'm like, you are such a creep. First of all, you like talked to her before she even like got into the house, and now you're trying to steal her away to talk to her again by just standing there staring at her, waiting for them to finish their conversation. That is so weird. Like, that just, no. Like, this guy, I don't understand how his brain actually processes. So the rose ceremony starts, and as all the guys are filtering in, Chad's still chowing down on his meat. So obviously then James Taylor, Wells, and Derek already had their roses, so they were safe. And the rest of the guys that got roses this week were Alex, Christian, Robbie, Luke, Chase, Jordan, Grant, Ali. Daniel got a freaking rose again, and I'm just like, why? Why does he need a rose? He doesn't need a rose. James F, Jimmy, our boy Jimmy got a rose. And then Nick, Evan, and Vinny got a rose. And then, you know, there's one rose left. And again, because the Bachelorette production people are so predictable, you can only guess who got the last and final rose, and that was Chad. Which meant that the super fan guy, the hipster guy, and then who was the last one? Oh, Will. And then so those three were the ones that got sent home this week. So then obviously they showed the preview for next week, and let me tell you, it's just drama. Literally, the one word that can describe next week's episode is drama. As long as we keep this Chad guy on, there's gonna be so much drama, it's unreal. But I mean, I'm honestly kind of fine with it, to be honest. So yeah guys, that is it for this week's episode of the Bachelorette Breakdown. With regards to next week's episode, in the previews they announced that next week it is going to be a 2-part episode, which means there's obviously going to be an episode on Monday and an episode on Tuesday. Now I was thinking about possibly doing combining both those nights and just posting on Wednesday, but I know that each of these videos are super long, which means if I was to combine both nights together, the video would just be way too long. I am going to be doing a part 1 and a part 2 for next week, so you will be getting 2 episodes of the Bachelorette Breakdown next week. So obviously I will be posting Tuesday for part 1 and then Wednesday for part 2. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not yet subscribed, make sure to click that subscribe button down below. I'm currently working on my goal of 500 subscribers by the time my channel turns 2. Also guys, we are so close. We are only a couple more subscribers away from 200. So if you have not clicked the subscribe button, it's free. Click it. It would make me super happy. Make sure to leave a comment down below what you thought about the group dates this week, as well as Derek's one-on-one date, as well as who you think will be the winner for this season of The Bachelorette. But as always guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Bachelorette Breakdown. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are in this amazing world. Remember to always keep doing you, and I will see you all next Tuesday.
Hey, no, no, no.